This is the third part of the reading of Huawei's Winter. We need to have the proper attitude, the right frame of mind toward reform. What is reform? It is a redistribution of interest, which is of great importance to everyone. For this purpose, we need a powerful management structure for this redistribution and the smooth proceeding of the reform. During the process of reform, the old balance of interest distribution will evolve toward a new one. The recycling process of this balance is a must that improves our core competitiveness and efficiency. Interest redistribution is never balanced perfectly, however. For instance, our ongoing post-reshuffle involves interest redistribution where you may be demoted or your department is torn down. No matter what it is, you must have the right frame of mind toward it, else our reform will be rejected and end up nowhere. With the completion of our IT system in particular, our former administrative hierarchy with multiple layers of administrative communication will go flat. With the middle layers disappearing, a large number of managers will become redundant. Now each department needs to reassign these redundant people to new posts. Only through timely arrangements of such people to the right positions can we avoid over-redundancy in the future. While in the USA, I talked with the CEOs of IBM, Cisco, and Lucent about the implication of IT. They told me it meant a lot of layoffs. It was to replace manual operation with electronic workflows in order to enhance competitiveness. We are also under the pressure to do likewise. Surely, with the deployment and completion of our IPD and ISC systems, unified financial system, and IT support network, the middle layers of our administrative hierarchy will be removed. We expect to dismiss a large number of managers and executives in 2003 or 2004. Now we must be aware of this situation. As we are expanding, there are still many new positions available, and we should try to fit ourselves in with these new positions to avoid being laid off. Layoff at Huawei is inevitably likely for managers and ordinary employees alike, for we never pledged life employment for our staff like the Japanese companies. From inception, we have been emphasizing the freedom of coming and going. Besides, the exchange of labor between companies and society is necessary. The redundant labor at certain company might be needed at other places in society. Likewise, we may need some talents from the labor market. Within Huawei, mobility between vacancies and redundancies should be encouraged. It is important for us to rearrange the right employees to the right positions in time, so as to avoid personal redundancy in the future. Of course, this mobility may result in promotion or demotion. But as long as our core competitiveness goes up, does promotion or demotion matter so much to you? Don't be so self-centered. Today, our HR subdivisions should show care for these redundant managers by reassigning them to other more suitable posts rather than retaining them. As for our senior staff, we should use and train them at our new positions, and they should also be proactive to take these new vacancies in case they may be preempted by newcomers. Of course, they should enjoy the freedom to choose what they prefer. Only when our core competitiveness improves can the contributions of all our staff be materialized. We must remove the obstacles in our reforms, which are mainly our mid-level managers and senior executives. In a time of organizational reshuffle, the positions of these people may change correspondingly. We would like to listen to them, but we also require them to obey our decisions. Otherwise, our reforms may be aborted. 3 years later, when our reforms are completed and everything goes well, we may consider readjusting their posts according to their requests and post availability. As a matter of fact, what we can do with our managers is to listen to their complaints first, and after that, assign them to new posts. As for our grassroots staff, we require them to be professional and try their best to improve their professional expertise. And we must strictly control their switching of jobs, which must be subject to strict review and approval. As long as they keep on developing their professional expertise, they can get well paid when their expertise is much improved. As for anyone who has leveraged job change as a means of personal gains, if he is not qualified at his new post and his original position has been taken by a qualified colleague, then he has to leave. Redundancy and incompetence are not allowed at Huawei, and the person in charge must be held responsible for the efficiency and effectiveness of his department. We must reduce our coordination and scheduling meetings, as well as the number of attendees of the meetings that must be held for decisions to be executed immediately. At the same time, we must prohibit such activities as skill training courses at work hours, and particularly physical examinations, communication, and entertainment get-togethers. Template-based work is a weapon to advance our management. I think template-based work is the key to standardized management. What is standardization? It is to build all our standard practices into standard templates, on which work is done step by step. As long as he understands the templates, a new recruit can work on it and become qualified professionally by the international standard in 3 months, given his educational background. The templates are the summing up of decades of experience, and you can just take and use them. So our offices in charge of workflow management and management improvement must enthusiastically and adeptly introduce various work templates, especially those already optimized and proven to be effective. Those clear, repetitive workflows must be made into templates. Only when the same job can be done with less work and time can we say our efficiency has improved. Only when our mainstream templates are put in place and our relevant template-based workflows are interconnected can our IT system become a reality. For this reason, we must reinforce the construction of such templates. The day will come when Huawei suffers adversity, shrinkage, or even bankruptcy. Now it is the season of spring, and you may think winter is still far away. It is not that far away actually. In spring, we need to think about the problems to surface in winter. I wonder if we should spend some time studying how to take on the crisis. The winter in the IT industry may not be a real winter to other companies, but it may be a real one to Huawei. And it can get colder at Huawei. We are not robust and tough enough yet, having developed smoothly over the last 10 years without experiencing any setback in a real sense. Without such experience, we don't know where to go when faced with adversity. As you know, experience of hardship is a kind of wealth. It is our Hercules heels not to have experienced it. Skillfully and mentally, we are not well adapted to the situation of stagnancy at Huawei. While talking about a crisis, it's important for us to put us in a big picture so that we can better understand its implication. There is a huge gap between us and our competitors in terms of professionalism according to the industry benchmark. For this reason, we choose to emphasize moral character when selecting a candidate for a management position. By moral character, I refer to commitment to work, willingness to make sacrifice, strong sense of responsibility and mission. Crisis is not that far, and death is permanent. The day will come, believe me. Philosophically or naturally, we can't resist its arrival. The difference we can make is to keep farther from it if we are well aware of the problems we have. Depression may lurk behind prosperity. A rose is beautiful, but it has thorns. A coin has two sides, and there is no absoluteness. Now we are still in the middle of high growth, resulting in increase of personal income for our staff. It is a time when we can afford to talk easily about the winter problem, so let us study this problem well ahead. Unless we are prepared for crisis, we are bound to die. Crisis comes secretly and unexpectedly, so our staff must not think about the problem from their own standpoints. Unless we are open-minded, we will not take the right attitudes toward our reform and see the whole picture. If you take a wrong attitude toward and resist our reform, the company will go to its doom. During this process, we need to press hard to improve yourself. Besides, we should cooperate well with your colleagues, improve our organizational efficiency, and transfer talents to other departments where they have a better chance to thrive. In this way, the size of our departments can be reduced and layoffs and shrinkage avoided. In a process of reform, sometimes it is inevitable for us to get involved in conflicts of interest. So I hope we can restrain ourselves from grumbling. Our managers and executives in particular must be self-disciplined and must not spread hearsay or arouse dissension. In my opinion, each of us must be self-disciplined and highly responsible for what he says, and at the same time ensures his family members keep their mouths shut about Huawei. A gossip monger is unfit for being a manager, for a manager knows so much about his subordinates. And who will trust a manager who is a gossip monger? So all of us must be self-disciplined and stop the spread of hearsay, helping the company guard against such people from stealing a managing position. We should stay unaffected by comments about us. I hope we all keep a low profile to the media. Since we are not a publicly listed company, we don't have to make any disclosure to the general public. We are only responsible for the government and the effective operation of our enterprise. In fulfilling our responsibility to the government, we obey the laws and regulations. Last year, we paid 1.8 billion RMB in value-added tax and income tax, and 0.9 billion in customs duties. That was 2.7 billion in total. This year, the tax we expect to pay may increase by 70% or 80%, so it will be more than 4 billion. By doing this, we can say we are socially responsible. The media have their own way of operating, so don't get involved. Some of our employees participated in online debates without knowing they were doing it at the cost of our company. When the media says we are good, don't feel happy, for we are not necessarily that good. If they criticize us, we should see if there is room for us to make improvement. If the report by the media is not true, let it be, for time will tell. So I hope we stay calm and unaffected in such a situation. Some years ago, some foreign media reported we were at the verge of bankruptcy due to our serious loss with debts outweighing assets. Fortunately, you don't have to go bankrupt when someone says you're going to. To our advantage, this report may have put our competitors off their guard. About half a year ago, they were still reporting we were insolvent. But at the end of last year, some US media said Huawei had a deep pocket, and I was an extremely wealthy man. I don't think we as a company are wealthy, and I don't have that much money as they imagined. Do you think I look like a wealthy guy? You should know it well enough, for I am often mistaken as a senior manual worker at Huawei. Financially, our finance department knows me best. It was only at the end of last year that I managed to pay off all I owed to the company and became a debtless man in this new century. Of course, I own a house and a car. To tell you the truth, in the beginning, I bought a Peugeot that was sold at a discount for 100,000 RMB by Guangzhou Peugeot plant when it stopped production in Guangzhou. Later, some of our senior executives talked me into buying a better one for the sake of safety. So, are we really prosperous when the US media say we are? Not necessarily. This is a deliberate makeup by some US media, and we have to question their motive. So be self-disciplined, tolerate the misunderstanding of others, and don't get involved in debate of any sort. When there is too much hype about us by the media, we should keep a low profile and don't make any comment. Otherwise, you may end up doing something harmful to the company. I bet I, like all of you here, will have nothing left if Huawei goes bankrupt. We all know value creation is inseparable from the sustainable growth of a company. To achieve sustainable growth, the old have to be replaced by the new, and even I myself will be replaced in the end. This is a law that never changes and is irresistible, so I will take it serenely. In a word, we should be strict to ourselves, fulfill your duties satisfactorily, and correct our mistakes or overcome our weaknesses pointed out by others properly. If others say anything about us wrongly, the passage of time will prove they were wrong. We should treat all this with a proper attitude. I hope all of you will grow and mature to share our burden and misgivings so that Huawei can survive. Let's press on and work hard for the whole company. And I hope you know how to handle the public opinion about us and remain serene regardless of what others have to say about us. Everyone should, I think, go all out to do a good job at his position, for only when you take good care of your own business can you be most improved. Let state business be taken care of by the state, government business by the government, and social business by society. All we need to do is to be a law-abiding corporate citizen, and in being such, we have discharged our social duties. Only in this way can our company operate in a safe, stable manner. No matter what problem we may have at Huawei, we must stay calm and follow the policy of the central party and government. We must be self-disciplined and mindful of what we say. In particular, our managers and executives should discipline their family members, for we Huawei people should behave well. When people outside Huawei cannot recognize you as one of us, you are really one of us. If they do, you are not really one of us, for it is obvious you have not cultivated you to a degree where you deserve the name of Huawei. The collapse of network stocks is expected to have an impact on network construction in 2 or 3 years to come, when the network equipment manufacturing industry will shrink as a result. And the current prosperity is just the result of the surging of network shares in the past few years. Please remember the observation: things will go in the opposite direction when they become extreme. When this winter for the network equipment industry arrives, it will get unexpectedly cold, as it is crazily hot now. Without taking proactive measures, we will be frozen to death. During this winter, the one survives who is dressed in a thick cotton-padded coat. After all, the whole industry will develop in spite that some companies may fail at harsh time. And this scenario is best described by the ancient Chinese poem, "Myriad sails speed past a sunken boat. Around a withered tree, all plants grow exuberantly." Effectiveness of Huawei's management cannot be done if Huawei is still acting as a heavy dinosaur with some old-fashioned process and misused performance evaluation systems. The efficiency of management has deteriorated too much by managers only doing the activities for the sake of only doing. A clear example is Huawei performance evaluation system, when no real or fair evaluation is made to employees. Your times applications, when the employee uses the system for the sake of to do only. The vision is not only to say great things, which everybody agrees to. This is the end of the reading of Huawei's Winter.